Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast, Kevin and Chuck. Today, we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic in the whole survival community, the beloved bug out bag. Now, you know, times change, we've updated, and we thought it was time to go back and revisit the bug out bag. A lot of new gear out there, new shit. People get excited. Few things I've added to my bug out bag over the years. One of them, I got to tell you, Tylenol, aspirin, Motrin, whatever. Pain relievers, big thing. When you're making that long hike somewhere or things are crappy, or maybe bug spray. You know, some of the things you might forget. Sunblock.
Yep.
Some of those big ones. So I thought we'd kind of hit the ground running and kind of just jump into big areas that maybe excite you. You know, there's shelter and food and water and all kinds of fun stuff. But you know, who knows? There's a lot of good stuff out there that we can get into. So, Kevin, let's
start out
with
shelters.
All right.
Now, obviously, the old standby for a lightweight bug out bag is a tarp and paracord. I moved away from that. I switched it out with a small 2-man tent. It's just a little bit nicer. Get the bugs off you, get out of the rain, get off the wet ground. I mean, a lot of people, you know, not knocking it. Tarp and paracord can go a long way, but yeah, I got the 2-man tent, lightweight. Doesn't take up a whole lot of space. When it's a 2-man tent, it's really just big enough for one person in their bag, or 2 people and both their bags outside. But make that 2-person, you know, not another dude, because it's nut to butt in those 2-man tents.
It is. Now, first off, when you're talking about throwing tents in there, I feel like maybe I have to take a step back here and tell you guys that when we say bug out bag, this is not like a get home bag that you keep in your car. This is not this is like, oh crap, they're overrunning my house and I want a bag with all my shit that I can start over. Stuff we can really, you know, hit the ground running and rebuild the world. So this is not going to be a fun, lightweight bag.
Right.
This is going to be a bag that you're going to throw on your back, and you're going to kind of lean a little bit side to side when you take it, because hopefully you're going to throw it in your car or your four-wheeler and drive as far as you can. But also, it's got to be light enough that you can carry it, but it's got to, you know, it's got to have some stuff. This is not your, you know, battle bag.
Right. This
or
isn't your
get
day
home
hike bag.
This
Nope.
isn't the, I need to survive 3 days in the woods. This is, I'm rebuilding the world bag.
Right.
So when he says, I'm going to throw a tent in there and not just a tarp, that's why. You know, you don't want things to be too crappy.
Right.
But you also do want to have some of those survival blankets, some of those thermal sleeping bags, you know, in there where it's, they have the little ones, you know, you can get smaller and smaller and they get expensive if they have any kind of temperature rating. you know, I mean, you can get ones that are great, but they cost a fortune and they're either too big or they don't get, you know, cold enough weather, that kind of stuff. Definitely they make the thermal insulated bags that are like a mummy bag that are still, you know, they're like $5 instead of 99 cents. 4 or 5 of those are a great extra to have, preferably sleeping bags or even those like military wool blankets, things like that.
Right.
Those are always good.
Now, yeah, I have in my bug out bag, I have a real lightweight sleeping bag. It's a 40-degree sleeping bag. That's
Nice.
not negative 40
It's not
degrees.
good for New York
Right.
winter.
If you're in Alabama, that's the perfect sleeping bag. If it's the summer in New York, great. But most of the time, you need something a little bit heavier than that. So I'd switch back and forth.
Also for shelter, I mean, I guess, you know, you could really throw in bug spray here. As we mentioned, you may want to rain poncho or rain gear. Did you mention that already? Maybe.
No, I've got that in clothing section further
All
on
right,
here.
I see that. And then also fire starting, but that could be a whole other section.
Yep, that's coming up.
That's coming up. So, all right, so let's move along. What do you got next?
How about water?
All right, food and water, or just water?
Just water first,
Just
then
water.
we'll move on to
All
food.
right.
Now, I have a Camelback. It inserts into my backpack.
Yes.
It, you know, it's great. Holds, I think it's 2 liters of water, which is right
It's a
around a
start.
gallon. Yeah. Water bottles, but really what you want to do is, I mean, the amount of water you're going to need is not the amount of water you're going to be able to carry.
Right. Especially
So-
bug out.
Right.
Now, you want some maybe for your travel, you know, your Life Straw, your Sawyer filters. I'm actually big on the Sawyer filter. I have one that screws onto the top of like a Poland Spring bottle,
Uh-huh.
and then you kind of just drink it right out of there, so you can refill as you're traveling to wherever you're going. Another thing that I actually find very easy are the bleach tablets. You know,
Yeah.
they have the water purification tablets.
Yeah. And great. A lot of people say it makes the water taste bad. A lot of people say it discolors the water, doesn't
Better
look
than
great.
diarrhea.
Yeah. Also, you could just not be a pussy. You know, just put it in there. It's
I
going to
wasn't
make it
considering
safe.
that option for
Right.
myself.
Now,
but
keep in mind that any spring water that you find should be clean water. That's fine to drink. You don't have to worry about it. Stream running water is a little bit safer, but you're going to want to definitely use some tablets in there or use a straw for that. Also, there's nothing wrong with throwing a couple of bottles of water in there in your bug out bag just to have with you. I've been in situations where I didn't pack water properly, didn't have enough water. It's shitty. Don't make that same mistake.
and I think people don't realize when you're hiking, moving, even setting up camp, clearing brush, doing that kind of stuff, it's not activity you're used to doing. Like,
Right.
if you're used to sitting in front of the Xbox and working out your thumbs, or do people even have Xboxes anymore?
I'm not sure what they're
Whatever
playing
they use
anymore.
now.
Yeah.
Right? Some kind of video games.
Chugging Mountain Dew Red.
When you're
Code
outside
Red, right?
actually working,
Yeah, you need
get thirsty.
You need that. Yep.
it really dries you out, and effort. Same thing, you get around a fire. That's one of the
Right.
big things where the Motrin and like that pay off, because you kind of get that dehydrated headache.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. I've had that before. Let's move into food.
Okay.
Now, your bug out bag is probably going to sit on a shelf for a while.
Yes.
It's great to unpack it and repack it every 6 months or so, but you don't want stuff that's rotten in the bottom of your bag. Granola bars and protein bars are great for that. You want calorie-dense food that's going to be able to last, and I've eaten plenty of stale granola bars.
Ugh.
You know?
I went into, we have a local place here that has the camping outdoor stuff. And I think for like $5 or something, I think I've even seen them at Gander, but they have these 2,000 calorie bars.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't taste awesome, but when your babies are starving to death and you're whatever, not bad. Not a bad way
bad.
to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also, there's things that you can throw in there that are going to last for a long time, like ramen noodles and stuff like that that's dehydrated. The Mountain House ones are great. Anything that's hydrated is great, and it's going to last a long time. They're kind of expensive, at least the ones that have nutritional value, unlike ramen. But it's also not a bad idea to throw some multivitamins in that bag with you. If you can get calories, then, if you have the multivitamins, it's not really necessary that they're healthy calories.
Now, I do have to say, I don't know. I know I have 2-3 day, one person, meal kits from my Patriot Supply.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, all packed in a bag and ready to go. Those are, your 25-year shelf life, that kind of thing. I think 2 of those, plus, like I said, a couple 2,000 calorie things. MREs don't actually last that long. They say a shelf life of a year and a half or something.
Is that what it is?
I think I have one in there, and
I've
it's
got
a
a
nice
case in the closet.
meal.
I'll have to open it up
Yeah,
and see what I'm looking at.
Check out your dates. Maybe people whatever, but they're not the 25-year shelf life that you might imagine.
Mm-hmm. Also, they taste awful.
Yeah, unless it's Taco Tuesday, right?
Ooh.
Now, the other thing you want to think about, you need something to cook with, or at least hold and boil water. So you need to make sure you have a mess kit, possibly silverware for everybody. Realistically, there should be kind of bowls and containers for everybody you're planning on being in your group.
Right.
You need to deal with this many people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody should have one of their own cups.
Right.
And what I do is I have those Stanley mess kits. I think they're great. And again, keep in mind, if you have a lot of people, you can carry a lot more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The more people out in your group, everybody can carry their own needs in their backpack.
Right.
And if that means have a, bug out bag for each person and already have them separated into backpacks, obviously there's certain items that you only need one of and not for each person, but everybody can kind of carry the load plus carry another family item or something like that.
Yeah, and those Stanley mess kits are great. That's what I've got, and it's nice because it's got little spaces in between it when you put it all together. And it's where I cram salt and pepper. I cram instant coffee in there.
So I
little
do
packets.
bouillon cubes, that kind of thing.
That's a good idea.
I've seen people instant coffee, like you said, tea bags, that kind of stuff. Really, if you're drinking the crappy water that's brown and whatever,
right?
And maybe you are a pussy,
right? You can put the coffee in there.
You put the coffee in there.
It's supposed to be discolored,
and there you go. It's brown.
Like
poo.
Perfect. Also, maybe think about simple fishing kit.
Yeah.
You can put that together real easy. You're going to need a lot of line. You're going to need the right amount of tackle. A friend of mine, last time we went on a big hike, he had actually brought his kid's fishing pole. It was a little, short 6-foot thing that came apart into 3 sections. And it was not a pain in the ass. He just stuck it in the side of his pack, and it was perfect. And we actually ate some good fish. Good salmon that trip.
He was catching salmon with his kid's fishing rod.
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
sure
I don't know if it
isn't
was
a
Mickey
fantasy
Mouse
story?
or what it was, but it was definitely pretty good. It was trout, not salmon.
Okay.
But
now your story's coming a little more believable.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry to mislead everybody.
Now, do you also like a canteen or something, some kind of, Kevin had mentioned the hydration bladder.
Right.
The
Camelback. Yeah, Camelback.
Things like that. You need something that can actually store water as well.
Right.
If you're thinking bug out.
Yeah, and those purification tablets, they're designed for a larger amount of water. You can drop them in a bottle of water that you filled up, but why use one for a bottle of water if you can, fill up a gallon bag and use one tablet for the same amount of water?
I would say read the label.
There
Depends
you go.
what you buy.
There you go.
And don't forget your utensils.
That's
I think
right.
we might have mentioned it. All right. moving right along. What's the next topic?
Clothes. There's clothes I keep in my bug out bag all the time. Now, Chuck was mentioning a poncho. I used to do that. I stepped up my game.
Well, when I'm south of the border,
That's right.
I
It's
do
all
the
right.
poncho.
Uh-huh.
I'm back on the burro,
Right. Right. No, I got a waterproof pants and waterproof jacket that just goes over the clothes you're wearing. It's a big difference keeping your legs dry, keeping your head dry. You got the hood on. I've got the whole gear. It was about $40. It rolls up in almost nothing size, and not a big deal. It's been a lifesaver in rainy situations. Now, I think a lot of this, the bug out bag, I think a lot of is a hiking bag, but that's not always the case. Not necessarily the case. Hypothetically, you want to be able to throw this in your car and get some distance first. But always double up on wool socks. However many you think you're going to need, you need twice that.
at times too.
Yeah. I've just have a standard of 4 pairs of wool socks in my bag. Just dry, just there all the time. Never been worn yet. So, they don't have the holes in them. Gloves is another big one. Depends on the area you're at. But if it's cold weather, you're going to want gloves because you're going to be using your hands a lot.
And a lot of the working stuff, you want gloves that fit and work.
Yeah, and I'd say gloves that fit is
for
a big
work
deal.
gloves. I gotta say, I like to buy the $20 like softer leather.
Right.
None of that insulation crap in it.
Mm-hmm.
But just the leather work
Right,
gloves.
the leather
it just
deerskin
kind of
gloves.
makes your fingers last a little bit longer.
Right.
Especially
Especially when you're working with your hands and it's wet.
maybe you have man hands and it's not a problem, but every now and again you do some job where you're like, if I had gloves, this would be a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's it's an added layer of warmth if you're in cold weather. Talking about warmth, you want to move on to fire starting.
All right, I'm willing to throw maybe eye protection, dust mask, along with the work gloves. Maybe a bandana. I like the dust masks. I don't know if you guys remember 95 dust masks. They're pretty good. You pay a couple of bucks, like you may pay like $10 for 3 or something like that, but you get a little better quality. If there is really a hazard in the air, it might really help out. I like stuff like that, little bonus things that you don't necessarily think about, but if you're bugging out, something went horribly wrong.
Right.
And so you kind of need to protect, those other things. And I had said eye protection, just something like that. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, it's not a bad idea to have some of those foam earplugs either, You may be doing some live fire exercises. All right, let's get into fire starters. The flint strike shit, throw that shit in the garbage.
Oh, dude, they have it at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, they got
like
it.
$2.99.
They got it everywhere, and it costs $2.99 because it's garbage. It's going to take you 45 minutes to start a fire when you can just use a Zippo. Get a Zippo, get the lighter fluid, fill it up, put it in your bag, put the bottle of lighter fluid in your bag. Get Bic lighters, buy 15 of them, throw them all in the bottom of your bag.
What?
Just have them. The waterproof matches, that's great. That's awesome. Amazing. You know what else is waterproof? Bic lighters.
I don't like your negative attitude.
Just it's fun to go out in the woods and use the flint and try and start a fire, but when it doesn't work out for you, use the lighter to start it. That's fine. The bow drill and all that sort of stuff. You're going to be spending the entire day, and you're going to be exhausted, and you're still not going to have a fire.
And you're like, I could have packed the lighter instead of the bow drill.
Right. That's what you need to do. So
now, but don't sit by the campfire just flipping it, lighting it, flipping
right.
it.
It's fun to do, but all your lighter fluid's going to be gone in about
God.
5 minutes.
All right, just something to keep in mind there. Although it is fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Now, the last time I went on a major hike, I actually it was, serious cold weather, like, frost, snow on everything. Everything was, as soon as you started the fire up, the ice melted and put the fire out. I actually brought some kiln dried wood. I just brought some scraps of 1x4 and put it in there. That's not worthwhile for your bug out bag. Just, just bring the little, know how to start a fire and bring that little bottle of lighter fluid out and get that thing going.
Or you know how you have like those little cans of tinder? That's fine,
Yep.
We talked about those hockey pucks that come, the survival pucks.
Mm-hmm. Now that fire starter stuff that you can get at Walmart or any place that's
those
super
work?
cheap, work great. They work great. That's
great. It's easy.
That's something I always keep in the bag. And
nice.
It's, it burns good. It gets the kindling started. It doesn't, makes things just a lot easier. We want to go into, how about lighting?
All right. Let's broaden it to communication, lighting, and navigation.
All right.
Can put all those together.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
So I got a compass.
Got a compass.
I might have a map of the area.
Right.
I know for me, I have the Northeast Trails and Woods or whatever map, and it solves all my problems. I got all the outlay, and I know where the hell I'm going.
Yeah, I have about 15 maps. I don't have any in my bug out bag. I have them all set in one spot. Well, it depends on where you're going. I do, for some reason, have a map of St. Louis. I'm not going to throw that in my bag because it's not going to come up very often living in New York.
What if you want to start a gang war?
Then I grab the St. Louis map.
There you go.
Get the Baltimore map out. Then we're good.
Baltimore. Oh, that's if you're going rat hunting because you're really hungry.
All right. Compass doesn't do any good if you don't know how to use a compass, though. So I'd recommend
how to associate your map with your compass.
Yeah, how to orient it. It's not a whole lot of help if you don't know how to use your compass. Now, most of you guys know how to use a compass. Some of you guys think you know how to use a compass and don't know how to use a compass.
That hurt.
So
that hit a little too close to home, Kevin.
Yeah, I've been on hiking trails with people that I thought of as competent, intelligent people, and as soon as I break the compass out, they're like, "Hey, so you just point this N in the direction you're going? That means it's north." That's not how it works, dude.
You want to go north? That might pay off.
So, so just know how to use the stuff you're putting in your bag. Don't put a GPS system in there if you don't know how to operate it. That's all I'm saying.
No, but a GPS, not a bad thing, especially if you have a way to like solar recharge it. Mm-hmm. Not a bad thing to have in there. Now you might be like, well, an EMP and it might not work, and it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, some things are not going to work if you have an EMP, and shit happens.
Just take it out of the bag and throw it on the ground.
If we don't have an EMP, and we just have all the refineries shut down because of a terrorist attack, and you have to get home because there's no gas, then that GPS that saves you 20 miles by not having to freaking stay on the highway and being able to cut through somewhere might just be a little payoff. That $150 or whatever you spent,
it's going to be well worth it.
That 20 miles, I mean, I don't know. What do you think the odds are that you might have to be coming home?
Yeah, well, you might have to be getting to your bug out location because there's no gasoline and it's Mad Max time outside.
Mad Max. Although I'm going to have some fun masks. Something with spikes, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you need something like that.
Definitely face paint. I mean, that's hands down.
Yeah, that's mandatory.
That's just basic.
Not like face paint, like camouflage, but like war paint.
War paint.
Bright red or something like that,
Yeah, you're going to be terrified.
You're going to need some sort of hair gel, make yourself a mohawk.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Just saying. I wanted to put that out there. So you were saying lighting, headlamps?
Yeah, to me, a headlamp is by far the best light you can have. Now, I know some of you guys have those big high-powered searchlights. Some have that. They have those flashlights that are also like they're so bright you use them to disorient people. in the dark. You shine it in their face, and
I
it's
do
not
have
like
one
a
of those
regular
on
flashlight.
One of my ARs.
Yeah, they're
does
pretty
have
dope. They're pretty dope.
I think in the military they call it the dazzler when
Mhm.
it strobes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like it. Most headlamps come with a red light attachment where you can switch it over and just use red light.
Now,
Red light has shorter waves, so it goes less of a distance.
Yes.
So you can't see it from as far away.
so on the bridge of the ship when you're doing that technical repair,
Right.
bam,
Red
red light.
Mm-hmm.
Because you turn on the regular light at nighttime up on the bridge, they're all like, "Oh, what
Everybody
are you doing?"
loses their
Oh my
shit.
god! Now the bridge would be where you steer the ship, if for those of you
Yeah.
non-sailor types.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now I show up and I'm like, "Yeah, break out my flashlight," and everybody's like, "Oh my god!"
Yep.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, the red lens. Hang on a
Mhm.
minute."
Now don't be afraid of the red lens, especially if you're in an area where there might be other people around.
Now, actually, if
You
you
wanna
are
take it
trying
easy.
to move at night, I did one of you guys recommended that I read a audiobook, actually listen to an audiobook
Uh-huh.
about hiking on the Appalachian Trail.
Okay.
And it's the guy's in Virginia and he gets stuck in Richmond and has to get home, and they have to hike through the Appalachian Trail. And one of the things they come across is they find it's easier to move at night. You're running into less people. Ambushes aren't really set up in the middle of the night
Mm-hmm.
because they don't assume people are moving. One of the things is they're all like holding their hand over their flashlight, kind of doing the close look so the beam doesn't travel. Having those red lenses really could pay off.
Right.
You think they're kind of stupid and whatever, but it really makes a difference. And, I'd say it's cutting down your visibility by maybe a third.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if they can see you, in that closer area, they're probably going to hear you anyway.
Right.
So, just something to think about.
Now, also, make sure you bring extra batteries. Flashlights are fine if you're not into the headlamp. That's fine. Chem lights are great.
Any
they
kind
have
of
their
solar
uses.
chargers are great.
Right.
Or-
I definitely got a solar charger for all my USB drive. It's a great little thing, man. It lasts quite a while, and it definitely works.
In my bug out bag, I have those Motorola, or I think they're Motorola, that talk about
Mm-hmm.
radios, and I find they're pretty huge, awesome, and I can charge those with solar.
Yeah.
So
What?
that's a nice thing for your location. I don't know. We've talked about like at your off-grid location, being able to have a radio with your guys out on watch,
Mm-hmm.
like doubles your manpower.
Right.
Because now they don't have to send a runner to come get you. Hey, there's somebody coming.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the guy have to abandon his post to come report it. Instead, he can discreetly, hey, somebody's coming up the road and going to come kill us all. They look like Jason. They got a hockey mask and a big
Mhm.
knife,
Yep.
blood dripping,
Yep. We've all had to deal with that before.
I saw a girl run up the road and trip. I know what's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just keeps falling down. I don't understand it. He's walking and he's still outpacing her. I don't get it. But whatever.
Dragging his leg.
Uh-huh. All right. Let me see here. Where we at? Flashlights, chem lights. Yeah, all right. So, while we're on this, let's talk real quick about rape whistles. I don't think they're necessary. I don't feel a need to alert people that I'm raping a bear.
But that's because you're a man.
Oh, all right, all right.
If you were a woman, you'd
All
be
right.
like, oh, rape whistle.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, those rare times when you're the man being raped,
You're going to want the whistle.
you're going to be changing your tune, Kevin.
All right. How about a first aid kit?
Love it.
Love it. Now, I'm big guy on slimming down my, lightweight stuff, taking out everything you don't need type of person. But when it comes to a first aid kit, you're going to want to stay as small as possible, but you're going to need stuff. If you don't have the things that you need when you have a first aid emergency, you're going to be up shit's creek. So you can buy off the shelf first aid kits that you can stick in your bag, but you really want to supplement them. Open it up and go through it. And you're going to...
It gives you a guideline of where to start,
Mm-hmm.
but usually everything in there's junk, so you're kind of like, eh. Like, those plastic tweezers that you couldn't pull a splinter out to save your life?
Right.
Why?
Trash them.
Those scissors that come in there
that don't actually
dead
cut
skin
anything?
or do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that's going to cut is the tape. That's it. It's not going to cut your gauze right. It's not going to cut anything right. So, get the quality stuff. Get the tweezers. You're going to need them. Pulling ticks out. I had to pull one out the other day. It's, it happens. Painkillers, good. Bandages, get the gauze, get the heavy-duty bandages, and get the tape to tape it up.
Israeli bandage for tying stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Quick clot, but then also the quick clot sponge.
Yeah, now you talked about that before. Tell me about the quick clot sponge.
All right, so... Here's why that pays off. Well, first, like tourniquet, quick clot sponge. Now, the reason the quick clot sponge, like you can tourniquet legs, arms, whatever, but what happens when they get the abdomen hit, whatever? That's where the quick clot sponge is going to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the ones where you have to kind of, actually, it's quick clot gauze that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're going to have to kind of put your finger in and find that nicked artery or whatever.
Right.
That's, gooing water out. Because if they didn't hit an artery or something that's really bleeding, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But, so you take that quick clot gauze, and you use your gloved or clean hand, and you feel in there for where the fluid's leaking out.
Yep.
And you're going to put that gauze right
in there.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you're holding it there, you're going to start packing in the gauze around it.
Right.
And then you kind of jam it all in there. But that way, people say like, oh, tampons or all these other things, right? You can use, well, it's kind of good, but it keeps the blood from coming out of you.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't
but it's
stop
still
the
leaking
blood.
inside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you have the quick clot gauze, you can put it right on the nicked artery or the damaged right there. And then you can stop it right there. And then you pack it in and press it. And that way it's not internally bleeding and just filling up a big void in your body with blood. Because because you make it so you can't see it anymore, although that is traditionally my policy in treating medical problems.
If you can't see it, it's all right.
I've been known to, almost cut off a toe, and I just wrap it in a T-shirt, and I'm like,
good.
oh, it looks good.
It looks good.
I don't see anything. I feel pretty good. I'm just going to go to sleep, and maybe tomorrow it'll be better.
Right.
That's usually my rule. Well, that's where the quick clot gauze comes into play. And the sponge kind of works the same way. The gauze, you would do the same thing with the sponge.
Mm-hmm.
But the gauze is nice because you can pack on top of it a lot more. Now, the quick clot sponge, you would do the same thing where you put it right there, and then you would take regular gauze and pack it around it.
Right.
But that way you can kind of stop those internal bleeding. Again, if there's no opening and you're not able to get there, that's another story. I'm not talking about field surgery or anything like that. But
yeah, and and I've heard that nonsense about like bullet wounds, stick a tampon in there. That string hanging out is not a good look, dude. You can't look cool like that.
It's hard. And if you go out, you may as well go out a man.
That's right. That's right. Now, also, a lot of people use splints. I don't carry splints with me. I feel like there's going to be something I can use as a splint around, but that's not necessarily the best idea.
And the same thing with a tourniquet, but I got to say, it's nice to not have to look for a tourniquet.
Right.
I can cut one out of a seatbelt. Oh, I can use my belt. Yes, that's true. And when you don't have something, but how cool are you if you have one in a Velcro pouch just like your Leatherman that you can just snap out and tie on there?
Yeah. Now, they've gone back and forth about tourniquets a couple of times.
Let's not fight.
All right. We're not going to get into it. If it's a tourniquet issue, whatever you're tying off, plan on not having that limb in the future.
Let's say...
Or you can use it to slow the bleeding until you can get it packed and covered right.
Let's say keep that tourniquet an inch wide or more, and I'm going to feel a lot better.
All right.
That's what I can tell you. Shoot for a wide tourniquet. That's why that seatbelt is nice. But then worry about how you tie the knot at the end and tighten it up that you don't roll it into a a piece of rope. You want on the surface contact an inch wide.
Or
again,
more, right.
Back to why I tell you buy a tourniquet instead of. Again, you can stop the bleeding. Yes, you can stop them dying with anything, a piece of string. But if you want to keep that lame, maybe have that little bit more where, we can keep things going.
Right. All right. Perfect. All right. Should we get into the tools that we carry with us in our bug out bag?
Now, it's hard to not take too many and make it too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my whole garden shed is going in the pickup when I'm bugging out.
Right.
Or if I can throw that trailer on my four-wheeler, I'm taking the whole garden shed.
Right.
But at a minimum, an axe head. You could do like the lightweight, smaller pry bars.
Yeah.
Would be nice. And
yeah, those are nice. I mean, it comes up a lot more often than you think. Even just
scavenging, especially
things,
if you're urban where you're going and bugging out. A pry bar is going to pay off huge.
Right.
To get into locations, great for opening doors.
And if it's an urban situation, I'd even say throw your bolt cutters in the bag before you go. They're really heavy. But if you're in an urban area, or if you can throw it in the back of a truck when you get going, throw those bolt cutters in there with you.
And if you
a lot of
have
padlocks
the
can
pry
just
bar.
be popped right off with those bolt cutters.
Yeah, but the pry bar, if nothing else.
Right, and pry bar will open a locked door.
You also may want to figure out how on the interwebs about taking a soda can and popping a master lock.
I've never seen that. Does that
There's
actually work?
I've seen people do it on the internet.
All
I
right.
haven't done it myself.
Okay.
Supposedly they make it flat, just like how you open a door with a credit card. It's the same idea, but they're using the aluminum of a soda can, and they're just slipping it in and twisting it and pulling it back out.
All right.
Who knows? I would say give it a try, but who knows?
Again, know how to use your tools before you pack them. So if you can figure that out, throw a soda can in there.
I always like when the girl is like, "Oh, my dad taught me how to pick locks," and she whips out the hairpin, and when she's locked in the closet somewhere, it's pretty neat.
Right.
Better if she's a badass and she just beats the crap out of the guy and doesn't get locked in a closet. But to each his own.
That's right. That's right.
Also, don't forget about hygiene, that kind of stuff.
Well, let's keep going with tools here. I got a couple more I want to put in here. Duct tape, rope, and paracord. Now, paracord is rope. It's not really. Paracord is great for making your shelter. Paracord is great for 1,000 different things. But paracord isn't going to pull your bag up, your 80-pound bag up the side of a cliff behind you. It's not going to help you lower somebody down the edge of a cliff that's injured. You want at least 50 feet of some decent, heavy-duty rope that's, 300-pound rope. Paracord just isn't that.
That hurts, Kevin.
All right. Your multi-tool.
Yes.
A lot of you guys wear it on your belt. Great. I don't actually carry it around on my belt because I'm not a nerd.
Wait, are you saying that I'm a nerd? You're saying that carrying a Leatherman is like a pocket protector?
Yes, sir. It's the modern-day pocket protector.
Ah, that hurts.
Nerds.
All right.
Yeah. No, all joking aside, though, the multi-tools are really useful. Pliers come in handy all the time. They've got a knife on them. They've got,
I think just the knife and the pliers I use probably 20 times a day, or cutters, pliers.
Right.
Knife, cutters, and pliers.
Right.
So really it's pretty versatile. And if you're in the urban environment, you might be unscrewing some stuff or doing stuff like that. Who knows?
Yeah, and they all have a bottle opener on them, and that's important.
Again, my bug out bag, I actually bring an axe and a machete with me. You've heard me if you've been with this show for a long time. The SOG Jungle Primitive is my favorite knife of all time. Although we do have a pretty sweet survival and basic badass podcast Bowie knife.
Oh, that's right.
That may, take some headlines there, right?
Yeah.
But also an axe head.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't bring a full axe, because I carry a full axe in mine,
Mm-hmm.
but at least an axe head and a hammer head that you can throw onto something.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about it. You
Right.
know, these tools might pay off.
Handsaw is what I've been bringing with me. Just a short handsaw.
I like a bow saw.
Bow saws are good. Yep.
Just they have the aggressive blade
Mm-hmm.
for the quick cut,
Right.
and that's something that really pays off. If I'm worried about weight and I just don't have room, I'm taking the axe over the bow saw.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're thinking, well, I can cut pretty quick with a bow saw. That's true, but the axe is just a little more versatile all around.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Another thing in your bug out bag you want to think about is cash. 20s, 10s and 20s, man. That's your bread and butter when it comes to getting things that you need. People want cash in situations like this. They don't want IOUs. They don't want checks. They don't want you to break out your credit card. None of that shit is good to them. Cash is good for them. They want that. It's easy to trade with cash. Another thing to keep in mind is maybe get a Ziploc bag and get copies of your passport, social security card, and driver's license in there. Probably not going to come up, but you never know. You never know. It might be good to be able to show you're a resident or you're a local person. Good things to have in there to keep in mind.
I think yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's pretty much. I mean, like I said, that's but you also have to think about the things that are personal to you.
Mm-hmm.
What's important to you and your family that you can't live without? Is your daughter's teddy bear the
Right.
thing that you need to have? Well, that's something you need to have in the back of your mind. Hey, we're running out. Don't forget this, because keeping the family calm and happy,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to pay off huge. Having everybody a little bit easier, a little comfort is not going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it can really add to the whole, low stress environment. Because guess what? If everybody's not complaining, then you're going to have a way better time and be able to focus on the survival and the protection things that you need to be as the leader.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something to think about. But I mean, I know we've covered other ideas and we've thrown out different things to keep in your bug out bag. You guys know I like I used to buy those old Vietnam era hammocks because they're great for nets, for trapping, different things like that. There are so many great things. Binoculars are great in there.
Yep.
As Kevin mentioned, the fishing kit, that kind of stuff.
And they've got some really nice lightweight hammocks for sale that you can get. They don't work as nets, but they get down to almost like a double deck of card size.
Nice.
And
And
you can
being off
break
the
'em out.
ground and
Yeah.
out of the bugs is sometimes worth a little something.
Yeah.
Bug spray is huge. Also sunblock. I know I kept mentioning it, but it seems like something people always forget.
Right.
Toilet paper, again, another thing that people always seem to, miss. A roll of Gorilla Tape can go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of the more,
Yeah. Two of the things
gear
that
stuff.
I started packing more recently is a small thing of Vaseline, and that, it comes in a lot more often than you think, and it's also good as a fire starter.
Yes.
So that's also something to keep around. When you're dehydrated and you're out in the sun and you're all haggard and stuff, being able to put some Vaseline on your injured areas is good. Dental floss.
The same thing. The Gorilla Tape, you get blisters, that kind of stuff. It's nice to, cover them up and keep moving,
Mm-hmm.
Dental floss.
Dental floss comes in handy a lot more often than you think.
Dental hygiene,
Right.
toothpaste and toothbrushes.
Mm-hmm.
Having those little Go ones that fold up, 3 of those in there all the time is not a bad way to be. And
Right.
honestly, really,
You're fighting the environment, but it's equally important to fight gingivitis.
Yes. Now you're understanding. That kind of stuff really makes a difference. we just tried to cover some of the basics so you guys could kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Start to
Now,
think of what to
obviously, your
carry.
bug out bag is going to be personal to you and the environment you're in. If you're in Alaska, it's going to be a much different bag than if you're in Alabama. So you're really going to have to, use your head, but there's a lot of stuff that is just, it's easy to forget when you're packing the bag. It's easy to forget, this item or that item. It's good to have a list, get a list going and, take some tips from us. Get your list started, pack your bag, and have your bag ready. Don't plan on, okay, these are the things that I'm going to get, when shit gets crazy.
All right, now here's what's cool. You're probably wondering, yeah, but what's really in Kevin and Chuck's bug out bag? I want to see it. Show me. Don't just tell me. Don't make believe. I don't want to hear your fantasy, what you read off the internet, what you're thinking, what it might be, what it could be. Well, guess what? You can actually find out. I'm going to throw up a video in the Prepping Badass group for the insiders.
Group? There you go.
And you can actually see what's in our bug out bags. But I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to open it up to everybody. So if you go on YouTube, search Prepping Badass, you'll find me and Kevin. Obviously. And somewhere in there, you're going to see our channel and our videos. And I'm going to put up the video that's me and Kevin going through our bug out bags.
Excellent.
I'm going to share it. You guys are going to be able to get to the bottom of this, and you're going to find out what we really carry and why.
All right. Excellent.
So I know you guys been sitting through another episode. You love it. You love this great content that we're always providing for you. Maybe you want to show a little more commitment. Maybe you want to support us on Patreon. That could be something. You actually get this cool patch. Now, some of you guys, you were about to say, you never sent me my patch. But then when you went out to the mailbox today, you were like, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, see? You just got to be patient. That was a test. I'm just seeing how resilient you guys are. You're really committed to the badass brand. So I'm a little slow sometimes, but I got you covered.
All right.
And I tried to send out a little bit of bonus for you guys, but you'll have to look and see what you get.
Excellent.
Maybe
Perfect.
if you're not as nice to us as you should be on Facebook, like sometimes post negative comments, then maybe you didn't get an extra patch.
I think they're funny, though, honestly.
Yeah?
Honestly, I don't mind them. As long as you give us 5 stars, you say whatever you want.
All right.
I just keep it entertaining.
Head
That's
over
all.
to iTunes, maybe. Leave us a review.
Would
Tell
love
us
some new reviews.
how much you love the show. I don't even know if we check the reviews, but...
I checked them like a month ago.
You did?
Yeah.
All right. So, somebody's got some interest. But otherwise, with that, stay safe, and we will talk to you guys next week.
The Survival and Basic Badass podcast is a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
This episode is brought to you by Boat Trader, America's largest boating marketplace. Whether you're buying, selling, or upgrading, the Boat Trader app makes it easy. With the biggest selection of new and used boats from dealers and private sellers. Browse, compare, and even apply for financing. All in one place. Download the Boat Trader app and start your search today.